anger and all that other jazz. Hey, YouTube, what's going on, guys? So, today I wanted to talk about what grievances do you need to release? You could say to yourself, what grievances do I need to release? The issue with grievances is, guys, that if in your mind, and that's where all grievances are in your mind, even though you're projecting your complaints onto the world, as long as you hold those ideas in your mind, you're going to block reality. You're going to block the truth, which is there is only love. Now, there's going to appear to be a lot of fear manifest as hate, separation, loss, scarcity, poverty, problems, grievances, complaints, nightmares, frustration, agitation. Those appear to be real and appear to be true in the real world and happening. But in reality, the more you train your mind, and I mean you have to do it, you have to train your mind to see this stuff, to realize it, to internalize it, you begin to see that they're all made up. They're all illusions. None of it's real. It's quite amazing when you really just start thinking about it. You're like, man, that is miraculous that all of this stuff is, I'm dreaming it up. And you could begin thinking thoughts in alignment with spirit, with God, with, call it Fred, Jesus. Not, when I say Jesus, guys, I'm not talking about a religious, dogmatic version of Jesus. I'm talking about A Course in Miracles Jesus, acim.org. You could find it on Amazon as well. And that was my lesson from yesterday, which I'll hold on to today, because I could see as I let miracles replace my grievances, and the grievances kept coming up. That guy cut me off. That was dangerous. He wasn't even looking at me. The complaints. And I was aware of them, and I was complaining egoically. And even on the way to the sit, got lost, a little frustrated, a little bit. Grievances, trying to get into the development, and the front gate box, whatever, was not working. But when I just relaxed after doing a little bit of complaining, observing, and not really projecting too much, like airing grievances, the miracles replaced them. We're having trouble at the front gate. It's unmanned at this place. There's a security box, and the code we're putting in is just not working. Instead of opening the gate, we keep calling someone. So I keep hanging up. Somebody zooms right in, and we just relaxed, and we're present. The miracle replaced the grievance. Someone zoomed right in and said, "Oh, you're trying to get in with that box?" And he said, "Yep." He said, "Yeah, that needs to be blown up. A lot of problems with it." He said, "Just follow me right in. I live here. Follow me in. The gate will open. Boom. You'll be all set." So it's like, that's an example. Rather than struggling, being frustrated, complaining, feeling a little frustrated, yeah, but then boom, we got right in. It's just this force called God that's real, invisible, but pure love that's in everyone and everything, and permeates all that ever was, is, and will be. Eternity, infinity. It's like, I'm right here, guys. Always there for love, help, care, assistance. But when you hold grievances, complaints, frustrations, agitation against anyone and everyone and the world, you block it. It's always there, but egoically, you block that force. You become unaware that it's there to help and to love and to allow miracles to unfold. You have to ask yourself, what grievances do you need to let go? Airing the grievances, letting them go, like not holding them in your mind anymore. Feeling the frustration, feeling the agitation, feeling the anger, just that complaint. I mean, for so many of us, that the grievance is a complaint about life and this person, it's their fault. That stuff needs to go. You need to forgive that, feel it out, and let it go, and not hold the grievance anymore, not hold the complaint anymore. Because as long as you do, you're going to block the miracle. You will block God. Not that you actually can, but you create the illusion that you can. So let's get honest with ourselves, guys. We all have plenty of complaints. I remember when I used to be a security guard. Just as how the world, why it's insane, why it's impossible. It's completely set up to implode and to cause endless problems and to ignore God and love and service and support, all this goodness and help and so much fun, to focus exclusively on the ego and madness and insanity and just this really unpleasant, unwelcoming nightmare, death wish. That's what the ego is. David Hoffmeister, Course in Miracles teacher. The ego is just, it's only a death wish. 100%. It's nothing else. When I was a security guard nearly 2 decades ago, we had a union. And this union for the security guards would even encourage, although there was some frustration and agitation from the shop steward and the people, right? But it would encourage, in a way, at least, well, they kind of did, but they would somewhat encourage guards who had problems or complaints to file grievances. So literally, there was a process of filing grievances, complaining about stuff going on with your job you didn't like. There's an endless list of complaints for some guards. I don't like this. I don't like that. This isn't good. That isn't good. And there was some spirit of offering feedback, how we could improve, but a lot of it was just complaints, Phil, and they could only do so much, file a grievance. In a way, it was good for the guards because they kind of got it off their mind a little bit. But then, unless they really let it go, the complaint, the dissatisfaction with what is, the lack of gratitude, some guards became notorious for filing seemingly endless grievances. They were complaining about everything, and their problems were in their mind, like our problems. Everybody's grievance is in their mind. If they were real, if a grievance was real, every single person would hold the same grievance in their mind, and the grievance would be eternal and they would be true, but none of them are true. None of them are real, because fear is an illusion. Complaint is fear. Fear is illusion. You are an infinite God with a lowercase g. Let's say your spirit that's infinite, and an eternal spirit cannot have a problem. It can't have a grievance. A body can, but that's an illusion. An ego can, but that's an illusion. Yesterday, people cutting me off, running red lights, cutting me off in northern New Jersey in the busiest section at rush hour. It happened. Somebody cut me off at light, ran the red light, close to crashing, but completely, quote unquote, ignorant of me on a worldly level. And another person came flying out of a drug fair or whatever and was not looking, huge truck right into. So to spirit, who I really am, there's no problems. But to the ego and the body, which I want to preserve and protect the body egoically as if it's real, there were grievances. I was pissed, staring at people. Not even a nasty stare, but just looking at their eyes to make sure that they didn't keep going, or, oh, are they even looking? So that's all egoic. And I had to feel them and be aware of them and saying, there I go, saying to myself, there I go complaining again. There the mind goes, there the ego goes. It's complaining. It's complaining. Let miracles replace my grievances. That was my lesson from yesterday. Let miracles replace my grievances. As I repeated it a few times, the miracles opened up. Quicker ride to the house sit. There was some resistance and some complaints at the gate. We got lost. The GPS was off. So there was some agitation. There were some grievances, but then everything opened up so quickly. Spirit and the guy at the gate, 2 or 3 people drove in. We're waiting on the side. Boom, right away. Like a matter of minutes. Here, let me just go in. You want to see someone in here? Yes, we do. Boom, right in. And then this house is just such a beautiful home, such a warm homeowner. And it was like that instant, like, oh, shoot, the miracle has replaced the grievance, surrounded by love, beautiful home and nice person, and just such a delicious dinner. And I'm like, it really replaced my grievances. It showed me instantly. Spirit showed me instantly. But I had to let them go. I had to stop complaining. And you want to invite yourself, guys, right now to stop complaining or to be aware of your complaints and say, I need to let these go in order to get help, in order to see the love, in order to see the care, in order to have fun, in order to see the support, in order to feel peaceful and at ease. Oh boy, take a deep breath, guys. Okay, this sounds, practically speaking, this sounds awesome. Sounds quite amazing, even. Okay. The entire political system, if you want to get down to brass tacks, is built on grievances that you need to let go. That's an ouch moment. Because as long as it sounds nice, maybe day to day, or there's frustration complaints with the kids and the spouse, and even though it's agitating, you feel like you could do it. But to really see the genuine effects of letting go grievances, letting go complaints, to be open to peace and love and harmony and openness, you have to right now address and own slowly and steadily complaints that you harbor in your mind, which are grievances that you have against presidents, governors, mayors, senators, people in the House, opponents, people you allegedly support, people you don't support. Every single person sitting in a political office, and this is around the world, guys, but here in the United States, there is an entire matrix that's built on grievances. They have to go too, because as long as you hold an idea in your mind, I am angry at this person, they're not doing their job, that's a grievance, and that will block what? Peace, love. How could you be at peace? How could you feel loving? How can you help and serve people when you're pissed at someone in office? When you're holding a grievance? And that's where the real deal sets in. That's when you get to see, would I rather be, like in the Course, Jesus said, would you rather be happy or right? It's uncompromising. The Course mind training is uncompromising. The world is compromising. That's why it's a nightmare. That's why it's impossible. But mind training through the Course, A Course in Miracles, is completely non-compromising. And I'm learning it with you guys. You have to let go of the grievances against the president, against the vice president, against the governors, against the news, against political parties, against political ideologies. You have to let them go, because as long as you hold on to them, you block peace, you block love. You can't feel good and at peace and relax when you're pissed at someone, when you're complaining about someone, when you're holding on to grievances in your mind. But when you let them go, you're happy. And then you see the joke of it. You see the illusion of politics and governors. Like, how can one person control your life? They can't do that. How can a law control? I can't do it unless you hold on to the grievances and fear. And then when you step into that world, guys, this journey isn't for the faint of heart, but liberation awaits you. Isn't it worth it to be free? Isn't it worth it to feel at peace, to have fun, to see the miracle unfold around you, to see that it's all made up? Isn't it worth it to see that you're dreaming it? This is the type of stuff that unfolds in your mind when you say, what grievances do I need to let go? I've done it. I still do it sometimes. I used to do it virtually all the time. Grievances with people running for office. Like, look at right now, we're doing this live chat early in October, you will be barraged by the world with advertisements for various elections. And you will see that these entire campaigns, the full campaigns, are built on the concept of grievances, complaints, judgment, criticism. You cannot live in a world of grievances and victim mentality, which is that entire world, and be free of the grievances. You have to let them go. As long as you're in that world, you're going to hold them. You're going to say, this one's that bad. This one's good. This one was good, but then they didn't do. And if you pay exquisitely close attention to your mind, you'll realize that the only reason why you're involved in that world is because you have a victim mentality. So you think you're a victim of a body in an office or of a man-made matrix law. You're not. But you have to train your mind, and you have to start letting those grievances go. Because when you stop complaining about the politician, they did this or they're going to do that, and this is dangerous, and you let go of that grievance, then they don't have power over you anymore. Then you're at peace. Then no matter what they do, you don't care. Because when your mind changes about what they do and you see the illusion of it all, that's when the miracle unfolds. For the longest time, you're so afraid. Then you air the grief. You're like, that's it. I'm letting go of this grievance. This complaint about this individual, this body sitting in an office somewhere, making laws, it doesn't help me. It just makes me a victim. Light bulb moment. You let that go. Whatever laws they make, you're happy. You're peaceful. And you see spirit using the symbols to help you, to assist you. Some law comes to pass, you feel peaceful about it. In the past, it was a pure nightmare when you held the grievance. When a worldly law comes to pass, you'll have all the help you could ever need, not to overcome the law, but to see that it's not real. It appears to be real to people who hold grievances and to people who view themselves as victims or minds, but once you conquer through forgiveness, through letting it go, you're like, oh, that's... And you're already doing it, likely. You're not even aware of half of the madness that's out there. That's an illusion, but it doesn't bother you because you're not complaining. You're not holding on to grievances. So that entire world, guys, slowly but surely, it's got to go. How could you be in the middle of a world that's full of complaints and grievances? And it's this guy's fault, it's that guy's fault. And be free of them. You're literally saying this whole world is a giant complaint. And it really is, but you have to let it go. You could be in the world, but not so much of it. And it starts with saying, what grievances do you need to let go? Are you angry at a politician for not doing what they said they'd do? You need to let that go. You need to delve into the fear in your mind that says this politician owes me because I gave them a vote. That whole world is based on fear and control and lies and deceit, because that's the only way a politician survives. If they don't do that, they don't get the money to be well known. This is easier and easier to see when you stop filing grievances and you stop complaining. Then you realize, oh shoot, the whole system's built on a house of cards. Oh, so that's what they have to do. So okay, I'm not going to vote anymore. Or I'll vote, but I'll just see that it's amusing. Because as long as you hold on to the reality, you think it's true and it's real, and there's change in the world, that you could change the world, you'll understand sooner or later, or maybe you won't, but when you really get into your own mind, you'll see that it is impossible. It never works long term. There's never growth. And there can't be, because it's all fear and control and complaints. There's not pure love in the world, because love never asks. It only helps. And the world only asks after it helps. The world, the ego is always looking for something in return. Love doesn't do that. Love just helps and it knows it's cared for. Wow, 20 minutes in, I may publish my new post on bloggingfromparadise.com. I'm going to talk about 10 blogging lessons that I learned house sitting at a multi-million-dollar mansion in a rural section in New Jersey. Pretty cool post, guys. I have to proofread it, though. Edit it now. Get it out there in a little bit. What grievances do you need to let go? Ask yourself that question right now. Wife, husband, kids, complaints. When you let the grievances go, you allow in the love that was always there, the support, the care, the peace. Life gets easier. Oh, it gets easier and easier. Relationships get easier. Money gets easier. Success gets easier. You're not really looking for that stuff, but you see it just unfolds so much more easily because spirit, the force in Star Wars parlance, God, love, it's all encompassing and all permeating. So it's always there and you're cared for. But you have to stop filing the grievances, like when I was a security guard, airing the endless complaint. This guy fault. It's that guy's fault. This guy did this. Gotta let them go. They can't do anything. They're figments of your imagination. No, it's really real. Really? The more you let go of the complaints, the more you hold on to them, it will appear to be. But the more you let go of the complaints, you'll see, man, this world's nut job. It's hell realm. It's psychoplanet. I've heard so many terms, but you see that it's an illusion. It's made up. You have all these sleeping minds, and they're beginning to wake up that are just airing grievances, and they're asleep, and they think that another body completely controls their life. When you think about it that way, guys, it is so weird. Like, really think about how odd that is. But you have to let go the grievances. You have to forgive the fear, feel it. Feel I am a total victim and feel that out. And that could feel really crappy and uncomfortable. But once you do, you start seeing like, oh man, it's an illusion. It's not real. What is there to be afraid of? I'm always taken care of. But you have to train your own mind and you need to let go of grievances, of complaints. And all throughout the world, your job, your boss, your manager. But politics is the one that comes to mind first and foremost, really across the world. But it's a good one, especially with elections coming up or just around the year in the news. And you got to let these people go. Stop complaining about them. Feel the fears in your mind, and they're only in your mind, that are fueling the grievances and the complaints. And then the complaints dissolve. Then you don't care. Not from a negative connotation, but you're like, oh, I'm going to carry on with my life. And this person, there's illusions there that appear to be kind of strong, but the more you face and feel the complaints and let them go, then, man, this gets easier and easier. And you just carry on. You see the world and you're like, yeah. Carry on helping people, having fun, being surrounded by love and support. And life becomes more miraculous and more magical. But not so much magical from the Course perspective, more miraculous. But you have to start with what grievances do you need to let go. So, guys, that's it for today. I'm going to roll wisdom, folks. Time to get that blog post live. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy Paradise Law. And to the folks on YouTube, later skaters, until next time, enjoy Paradise.